Welcome to the Twisted Remedies podcast. I'm your host, Justin Couture, a retired cop, trauma survivor, and Jiu Jitsu purple belt. This is a show where we explore how unconventional approaches like Jiu Jitsu, music, and other non-traditional remedies can be powerful tools for healing trauma. We'll dive deep into conversations emphasizing the profound benefits for first responders, veterans, and all frontline workers, offering insights and stories of resilience. Join us as we uncover the twisted paths to recovery and well-being. And thanks for listening. Welcome everybody back to Twisted Remedies. We are in Oakland, Maine at BJJ Globetrotters USA camp. My guests today are Alan and Rachel Titone. We have been trying to do this for, I think, months.
Months, absolutely.
And it essentially... I was sick. You guys were sick. I think I threw my back. Like there was one thing after another, and then we all realized we were going to be here at the same time, and this made sense to do. A little different logistics than me sitting in the podcast studio at home, but this is great.
Yeah, thanks for making it work.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you want to just take a minute and each kind of walk me through your background, who you are, kind of why we're talking today, and then we'll dive into stuff.
Sounds good.
Well, my name's Raechel. I've been doing Jiu Jitsu for over 10 years. I started out my martial arts journey with Taekwondo. Actually, no, I started out with karate, a couple months of karate in a YMCA. And then I went over to Taekwondo after another year of not training. And during that time when you're young, things seem to take a long time. So it felt like forever, right? I did that for a little bit, got a green belt, and then stopped. Went into wrestling in high school, did some wrestling in high school, did some wrestling in university at Guelph, and then stopped for a bit, had my children, and then I started Taekwondo again. And then when I moved to Ajax, and luckily enough, right down the street from me was a Jiu Jitsu gym, and I was kind of interested in it because when I had done that last little bit of Taekwondo, we had like a day where we did a little bit of grappling, and the black belts who would kick the shit out of me in sparring, I got them in grappling.
Right.
Because I had the wrestling background, and I was like, this, right? And they're like, you would love jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, yes. So I literally prayed. Once I found out that I was down the street from that jiu-jitsu gym, I was like, I don't know how this could work, because I was a single mother at the time. Like, who's going to watch the kids? Living in poverty as well, right? Like, I can't pay somebody to watch the kids. They were 3 and 4 at the time.
That's a handful.
So I got down on my knees and I prayed. Because that's all I had.
Yeah.
And less than 2 weeks later, I got a knock on my door. My neighbor had gotten like a change of shift at work or something, and she wanted me to watch her kids in the morning so that she could go to work for like 6. And right away I was like, you don't have to pay me. We'll do a time swap.
Yep.
So she would come and she would sit and she would watch the kids at like 7:25. I would have them in bed. I would have everything ready. I would have read to them, fed them. It was perfect. She didn't even have to talk to them. Just like they stay in bed, and I run down the street, and I would go do jiu-jitsu 3 days a week.
That's awesome. To hear that a Taekwondo, like, you know, your Taekwondo instructor was referring you to jiu-jitsu is, I haven't been doing this as long as either one of you, but to me that sounds like an anomaly. I don't know that happens maybe it does happen regularly, but I'm glad to hear that. And that's a cool part of the story, that they were like, this is missing in this game and you will love this, go do this.
Yeah.
That's cool to hear. And you mentioned Ajax, so for people listening who don't know where the heck Ajax is, Ontario?
Yeah, Ajax, Ontario. It's about 40 minutes east of Toronto. or right across Lake Ontario from Rochester,
Gotcha.
New York. So it's about where I am.
Yeah.
In Canada.
And I'm still there in Canada.
In Canada.
The Great
People
White
don't know
North.
where Ontario is either.
I think when you said about, I think they'll make the connection because there's a little hint of some. It was the same
Ontario's-
thing when I had Matt McPeak on. I was like, people are going to pick up on a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, Alan. What's your background in martial arts?
I was a little boy growing up in New York City, and I got put into karate, Okinawan Kempo, and I was actually just telling my wife about it. I made it all the way to purple belt, and the instructor, John, I believe his name's Calvacante, he was at a YMCA, and I believe he's still the director of the YMCA there in New York.
Wow.
So next time I go, I'm gonna probably go and try to go see him.
That's cool.
See if he remembers me.
Yeah.
But that was the start of it, and then lost my way a bit through my teenage and adult years, and then I didn't pick up jiu-jitsu again until I was 36. So and it quickly became an obsession. And I'm really thankful for it because it's helped me a lot through my life. I went through a divorce, and I hit the big red button in my life. Quit my job, got a divorce. Billy Joel has a song, I got a new wife, I got a new life. The family's
Age-old
fine.
wisdom from Billy Joel.
Yeah.
He's done that a couple of times, I think.
Yes, yeah. So it's been a fun journey, and it's led me here to sit on this couch with you in Maine. So I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's so much I want to cover, so I want to make sure we get into this. We're like I had mentioned at the beginning, we are in Maine for the USA Globetrotter camp. My first camp here was 2023, and I remember both of you for different reasons, and mainly because of the forced fisticuffs with you. There were things that happened that I will never be able to unsee, but that's another episode. And then I think I had a conversation with you like after the beer tasting. A bunch of us were standing around, but tell me about like your first kind of camp experience, how you got connected with coming to these camps, because I think you both have been here many years, if I'm not mistaken, or at least since 23, because that's when I saw you both here.
Yeah.
I had come a year before 2023. Okay. 2022 was my first year. And
your first camp.
And my first camp ever.
And that was like the big COVID camp, right? From the stories I've heard.
Yeah, like I didn't take the vaccine. I just wanted to wing it. Yep. And there was a bunch of, like, that was a scary time for a lot of people. And it was a time when I wasn't sure, like, about passports and this and that. But I remember driving up here and not knowing if you guys would even let me in. And like along the 401 corridor, that's our main highway to take here, I would just see like border crossing to the United States, and I'd get anxiety. I was like, okay, not this one. And then the next one would go, and I'd be like, okay, not this one. And I finally got to the end of the line past Sherbrooke, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to try. It's like 4 a.m, and I hadn't ever crossed a border by myself before, and like they asked questions like, where are you going? And I'm like, who wants to know?
They love that answer.
Yeah.
Over there, of course. And so like they just kept asking different questions because like I guess I looked sketchy, right? Like not having any of the answers right away and having to like look things up. But they let me through, and I was like, all right, right? Like, hey, it's too late now, right? So I made it in, and that was really exciting to come here for my first time, and it blew me away. If you've never been to a Globetrotters camp, like I feel like I'm a little bit desensitized to it now, but I think everybody should have a first time, because, you know, even if you do become a little bit desensitized and it becomes normal,
right?
It's so magical. The first.
That was the word I was going to use. Is like, it is magical, but I feel like the desensitization is definitely a thing, but then when I think there's nothing that's going to surprise me. Hold my
There it
beer,
is.
because something happens. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
didn't see that coming. So there's, there's
And
never.
it's still funny. Everything's still funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love everybody coming together. The worst part is the culture shock when you go back home.
Definitely.
You go to say hi to people and they don't respond
Yep.
the same way. That's the worst part. It's like, why can't the world be like this?
And have you done? This was your first camp, but have you done other camps since then?
Yeah, I married Alan
That's right. That's right.
in Arizona, and then we honeymooned in Camp 100 in Italy.
Yeah, we're going to unpack all of that later because that's a whole.
That's
Yeah,
stories.
I forgot about the Arizona piece. That's right. Awesome. What about you?
So the same guy that got me into jiu-jitsu, stupid 23-year-old kid who wouldn't shut up about jiu-jitsu. He's the one who got me into it, and then he went to Arizona camp for his first camp. Jake Steele, shout out, and he was like, "Yeah, it's crazy, like just tons of jiu-jitsu. You should go. It's fun." And so I went to my first Arizona camp in 2021. That was my first camp, and this is when they were still doing 2 Arizona camps a year.
Yep.
And it from that moment on, I started going to every Arizona camp. I think I got to 6 Arizona camps before I went to my first other camp outside of that. And it was planning on to be this one. But as I mentioned before, big red reset button.
Right.
I ended up in Europe for over a month. And I went to Tallinn, or spring camp in Estonia, which I didn't know was a real place. I thought it was just from like a Pauly Shore movie. Yeah. I'm like, Estonia, where the hell is that on the map?
I love a good Pauly Shore reference. That's
Right. So yeah, Tallinn was amazing, and your first camp is great, but it's also your first camp at each location.
Right.
Is also very magical because they're all very different. And so I've done Tallinn. I've done 2023 was my first camp here.
Yep.
So
that was your first
that
one?
was my first main camp. Yeah.
See, good for you, because that was my first one as well. And I historically have been an extrovert. I've played in bands my whole life. I've never had a problem getting, doing stuff in front of people. But for some reason, I got here, and I don't know if it was like sensory overload or what, but I instantly became like, whoa. Because, there's like 200 people here.
Yeah, it's big.
I would not have guessed. And your background, obviously, you've been getting up and talking in front of people as well. So you seemed very comfortable. Like, I would have put money on the fact that you had done this for 8 years or something.
Yeah. I definitely had the being in 6 Arizona camps, and then Tallinn before it. I had built the network, the social network, with all the instructors, and I built a name for myself already, for just putting myself out there. That's how I am. That's who I am. I've always just put myself out there, right? I want to be a black belt, so I'm going to hang out with black belts, right? That's how you become a black belt, right? You don't become a black belt by hanging out with white belts. And I'm not saying that, you don't hang out with white belts, but those are going to be the people that I talk to. Surround myself with, right? And so coming to main camp, especially for the Forest Fisticuffs, the very first one, coming as Namaste Nudie. Coming as Namaste Nudie, it was funny because Christian reached out to me and my friend Josh Janis and was like, "Hey, you guys want to wrestle?" And we're like, "Yep." And we're like, "What do you want us to do?" They're like, "I don't know, use AI to figure it out." And so we, all of the Forest Fisticuffs have been powered by AI. Right. The character development, the scripts, everything. So it was really fun. It's fun to see where it's gone. And last night, Tyler, he said to me, he's like, this is because of you.
That's cool.
And I was like, thank you for that. And he went into a little bit more about how, we could just be ourselves. He's like, you showed us that. Yeah. Like, you showed us we could just come out here and be ourselves and have fun. And I was like, I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. And that's what we want. Right? I know that's what Christian wants. I know that's what everyone here wants, is we come away for a week out of our lives of whatever it may be, whether it's law enforcement or doctors or lawyers or convicts.
Right.
Right? It doesn't matter. We're all on the same mats, and we just want to be ourselves. Right? And we don't want to talk about, I mean, we do talk about life, but we don't want to get into the stressors of every day
Right.
and just to disconnect. And right, we're at a camp for boys, right? Outside of the jiu-jitsu camp that we do here.
Right.
This is a camp for boys. And it truly brings out the little boys and girls in all of us.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this camp specifically.
I think that's the magical piece is that, there's just so much, the lake, there's just so much here that brings that out and it took me a little while to get out of my head and figure that out my first camp.
Yep.
And then I had to do it again my second camp. So it's, so I want to get into, because you guys have a very unique story about camp. You both met at this camp.
Yep. In 2023.
In 2023, which was your first camp.
No, second.
Second camp, right?
My
Sorry.
First
Your
one here.
first Maine.
Yep.
Right. So walk me through how that happened, and let's dive into that story because the ending is sitting in front of me, or the continuation is
Continuation. This is
Not
not
the
the end. Not even close. Well, there's this game we play here. I love this game. It's because I love games that are like cat and mouse, right? Cops and robbers. I like that. It's an assassin. So what happens is you get the name of your target, and you have to kill that person with a sword or a shuriken. And once you do, you get the name of their mark, and then you have to kill that person, and so on and so on and so on until you get back, hopefully, to your own name without getting killed. And that means you've won. Well, the year before, nobody had killed me, right? And I was very paranoid. So this year I was like, okay, I'm going to try not to be so paranoid. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to try still, but I'm not going to be overly paranoid. So first day happens. I'm coming out of the cafeteria after dinner. I look to my left. I look to my right. I look and I see a guy on a cell phone, and I'm like, there was terrible reception last year. I guess they got it fixed, right? And I keep walking, and then me in the back, he says, gotcha. And I turn around and I jump into his arms, and he's like holding me, and he swings me around, and then he looks at me and then swings me around a little bit more. And that's how I met Alan Titone.
That is, I didn't know that part of the story. That is wild.
Yeah, literally, she jumps in my arms. I'm like, this is weird.
You're like, I just murdered you.
Yeah, you're right. I'm like, all right.
Though.
And I was like,
right?
oh, she's cute. Like, that's cool. Yeah, but then
wild.
that was it.
And then
we sort of parted ways, and
I went to Walmart.
And then the next thing, right, that evening was the first Forest Fisticuffs, the wrestling match.
Right.
And she couldn't help but notice my plump bum through the
Which
window.
was on display
For everyone, right?
Go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was at the beer tasting with you, and then when we all went in, you guys drove me in there. I wasn't going to go into watch.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that?
We were,
Yeah, you guys were the catalyst to bring me. Like, I remember seeing Ellen through the window, actually, and you guys being like, come on, let's go. They're doing wrestling in there. And so I was like, okay. But when I got in there and I saw what was going on, I was okay with it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And so she talked to me a little bit that evening. But then that was it. Like, there was nothing. Like, I'm also stupid. I'm completely, unaware of, especially, women. Right? I'm just like, oh, I don't know. So, and then, right, the night goes by. The next day comes, and we go to class. And we're in the first class of the day, and we're sitting there, and jiu-jitsu, right?
I'm still bitter at this point. I'm not over it. I'm like,
because you got taken out?
Yeah. So, I'm, kind of being catty with
On a
them,
side
right?
note, I hear you're doing quite well this year.
Yes.
Actually, I'm out last night.
Oh, did you?
Sam got me.
Oh, all right.
He got me in the back.
There was a
I
lot
left
of talk
myself
yesterday
open.
about, she's going to take it if somebody doesn't get it.
She was going to win.
I told him I'm not going to marry him, though. I told him straight up. I turned around. I'm not marrying you.
I think that's probably good to put out there.
Yeah, just to make sure he knows.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to do
That's
that.
all right.
No, derail.
So that next day in class, right, the instructor taught, right, ready, break, we clap. And like, you know, when you make eye contact with someone,
Yep.
like, oh, that's your partner.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, and I like look over and she's like, I'm like, yeah, I guess we're partners, right? And 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, like,
The light bulb went off. Like,
I see what's going on here.
There may be something to
Yeah,
this. Yeah.
I see what's going on
Well,
here.
we're both going back and forth.
Right.
It was fun. He was
Yeah.
fun. He's, you know, when you meet somebody who's just on the same level as you,
Yep.
he's right there with me.
Yeah.
Like, always.
Aside
Right.
from murdering you.
No, because I would have done the same
Yeah.
thing. Like, no, he's on that,
Yep.
right? It's like literally, I never really understood what people meant. It's like being with yourself.
Yeah.
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 And I told her, it was funny because like as men in the sport that is predominantly male, the last thing you want to do is be a creep,
Right.
right? So like we're going back and forth a little bit, and I'm like, wow, you're really smart, right? Like we're talking, and like I'm like, wow, you're really smart. She's saying things that are smart.
And I'm putting out words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and then like she says something, she's making me laugh. I'm like, wow, you're really funny too. And then we got towards the end, and I was like, hold on. So you're smart, you're funny, and you're good looking?
What are you
And you
getting
do
at,
jujitsu?
Alan?
And she's like, what are you getting at, Alan? And I backed off a little
Right.
bit, right? Because like, again,
Right.
the last thing you want to be is the creep on
You
the
don't want to
mats.
be the DM like, hey, that was a really good roll.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. But I could tell like she was being playful, so like I re-engaged a bit, and so the day went on. We went to a different seminar together, and
He followed me.
that's what she says.
He followed me there.
And so again, I have the fortunate experience of having built a social network. So like I would joke with her, I'd be like, oh, everyone's working for me. Right? Like I know a few people. Everyone's working for me. And so like we walk into a seminar here in the theater, and like they're like, Alan, and like immediately get brought into the conversation, and we like sit down. I remember we're sitting right over there at the edge, and like after the whole commotion, I sit down. She's like, you know a few people, huh? And I was like, oh, just a few. So anyway, we sit at the seminar, and for those of you that don't know that are listening, we're at a boys' camp, and everything that happens on site, and we have a cafeteria where you get 3 meals a day at breakfast, lunch, dinner. They all happen at the same time, right? So that's a really important part of our story. And everyone goes to dinner. Everyone goes, right? Like it's a big shared space. And so we're getting up. The seminar's over. We leave here. And I'm like, so what are you doing for dinner tonight? And she's the smart ass that she is. And she's like, the same thing everyone else is doing for dinner. And so we go back and forth a little bit. And finally, she agrees to have dinner with me. And and I mean, there's so much more to the story, but
Right.
we end up having dinner. And
Your first date was the Yankee swap that
Yeah.
happens here.
yeah, so we went to dinner, and then we went to the Yankee swap.
Yeah.
We took our very first picture together, which I have. And then from there, it was just the next 6 days of camp. By day 3, I told her that I was going to marry her.
Wow.
Yeah, I told her I was going to marry her at a
Turns
camp.
out you were right.
Yeah, and I told her at a camp.
I said probably not,
Right.
but to the first proposal, but eventually he got me.
Yeah.
He wore me down, I guess, maybe, or I don't know. Along the way, I started thinking it was a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he convinces you one way or another.
Yeah.
And then you guys are in Phoenix or Tempe for the Arizona camp.
Yep.
And tell me about how all that came to be and what happened there.
So the year prior at Arizona camp, I was part of this big part. So every year there's like a party at Arizona camp, and the theme was prom. So we had a prom, and it was really fun. I was part of the planning committee, and along with Arlen and a few other people. And this year Arlen reaches out to me. She's like, "Let's have a wedding." And like they were just going to do like a fake wedding.
Right.
They're like, we'll just pick some people to get married, and we're like, let's just have a real wedding. And she was in for it, and our biggest rule was we don't want to be part of the planning. Like,
Right.
I've been married before. I didn't want a big wedding the first time, and I definitely didn't want a big wedding this time, and one that I had to think about and plan.
Right.
And I would never. I wouldn't have married him if he wanted that.
Right.
Like that
Again,
is
synced up
that is a
on the same
nightmare.
page.
Yeah.
That is a nightmare to me. Or to wear like a wedding dress, but I can get married in a gi,
Right.
you know?
So we had a small wedding. There was like 300 people there. But we didn't. We hardly planned any of it.
Yeah.
We did custom design gis
Yeah.
for our wedding party and for ourselves.
I wore
Was it
my-
gi only, or could people wear no gi?
No gi was allowed.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
We're very flexible. wear your best jiu-jitsu gear.
Some
or
people showed
whatever.
up in no gi that looked like a
Oh,
tuxedo.
a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And this was at J Page's, right? That's
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, this is J Pages, and it was awesome.
It's very special.
To this day, I still have people like I had someone this week come and tell me I was at your wedding. I'm like, that's cool. He's like, it was the best wedding I've ever been to.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we ended up at Camp 100 for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just great spending some time in Italy. And
So it's fair to say Globetrotters holds a real big spot in
Yeah.
this.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you clearly can't tell that story of the two of you getting together
No.
without a whole lot of Globetrotters.
Without mentioning
references.
it.
That's
No.
cool.
Yep.
Absolutely not.
You've both kind of mentioned, you mentioned like, being a single mom and the hardships of that. You mentioned like the big red button a couple of times and divorce and stuff. People have heard my backstory a million times, but in a nutshell, like jiu-jitsu helped me through like a very difficult time. And I said this to you guys at the onset, like without jiu-jitsu, I likely would not be here.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the crux of the show is, when, I always like to get in with people like, what do you think it is about jiu-jitsu that has helped you through hard times, that has healed something like, and I know you like, we can talk about, Karma, the school you opened as well, because I think your approach, you guys seem to have a very philosophical approach of like, I think every post I've seen from the school from you guys is jiu-jitsu is not about jiu-jitsu.
That's right.
And I agree 100%. There's so much more to it than just, folding clothes with people in them.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious what your thoughts are, if you can just kind of unpack how jiu-jitsu, like, what are the benefits that you see for like that mental health piece and healing and all of that?
I'll let her go first, but
Sure.
I think in 2 words, trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think trauma bonding is doing something really fucking hard with a group of people that you suffer with.
Yep.
There's a connection that's built, and that alone will help you heal, help you on your journey to heal. And I think it's one of the biggest impacts because as jiu-jitsu has on the community. But I'll let her share her story first.
I've gone through, everybody has their story, their life that they've lived, and it really does impact us. Like our environment, it really does impact us. And it really impacted me, the way I grew up. And I didn't have the best mental health without knowing it, right? Because like you can't see yourself, like, or if I knew I had a problem, but I didn't know what my problem was or how to fix it, right? Like you don't quite see it, right?
You don't know what you don't know.
You might know that there's a problem and there's something, but you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to get better, right? Unfortunately, I got to a point where I was just, I got really, really bad. And I was like, what do I do? And luckily, I fell into a program, Addictions and Mental Health. And I went back to school. And through that program, I learned how to kind of fix myself.
Yep.
It took a bit, right? But I can definitely see that throughout that program, and by the time I was done that program, I had done a 360, and then it was just trying to maintain. And so jiu-jitsu helped me maintain, because, you know, what they say is like the number one thing that people go into counseling about, and the number one thing that people are hurt about, are social relationships. Right? That's the number one, and jiu-jitsu brings you social relationships. You know, you do jiu-jitsu, afterwards you talk to people. You're doing jiu-jitsu, you're drilling, you're making a social connection. In society, like, even proximity, right? Like, how often will you sit next to a stranger this close, let alone touch them? Right? Touch is healing. We need that. We need these social bonding and relationships. We need to feel part of a community. We're not meant to just be strangers living amongst each other. And I think that that's what jiu-jitsu really does, is it brings people together. We also see, you know, like, just, I've seen so many times that people are just sitting on the edge alone. And you're not everything for everybody, but you can be a little bit of something for somebody in that day, right? You know, once you do heal, you see people who are not quite healthy. And I'm in a position now where I see that people are not quite healthy. I did before too, even when I wasn't healthy. It takes one to know one, right? I could recognize it, but I could still say hi and still be there a little bit and see them get a little bit better. Right? And that's, I think, what jiu-jitsu is we often are bringing each other up purposefully. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu for me, some people say it saved my life. It didn't save my life. I don't know that there was anything to save, but it definitely changed my life and had a huge impact on it. I was married. I was with the same person for 15 years. I was married for 10, and in 2022, I decided to ask for a divorce, and I was done. I knew I deserved better, and I think that was partially because of jiu-jitsu and the confidence jiu-jitsu gave me, and the friendships that jiu-jitsu gave me, and the people who believed in me. And it was a different perspective to see. So I asked for a divorce, and when that ball started rolling, I was working a corporate job, working 60 hours a week, and the only constant was jiu-jitsu, right? The only thing that I could rely on, as much as I traveled, was I'd find a gym, right? Globetrotters is amazing, right? It's not just the camps, right? It's like, hey, what friends do I have in this city? What friends do I have in this city? Right? And when I say what friends do I have, I mean, who does jiu-jitsu that I've never met before, that you're going to be my friend as soon as you know that I'm in town. Right? And I can't tell you how many people have taken me out to eat, and we've shared the mats together. I've slept on couches, and it's such an amazing sport with so many welcoming people. But the biggest impact was the gym that I was at. I was teaching kids classes. I was at the gym probably 5 hours a night, 4 or 5 days a week. And I remember walking in some days and just being broken, like shattered, not knowing anything about what I needed in my life. And my good friend Erica, she was always there. And somehow she always knew what I needed, right? Sometimes it was a swift kick in the ass, right? Sometimes it was, a shoulder to cry on. But whatever it was, she was always there. And that was the one thing I could count on. It was the one thing that I looked forward to, right? Like waking up at 6 a.m. and like people don't understand what depression is, right? They think it's like you're just sad. Right. No. Right? Like, I mean, depression comes in all forms, shapes, and sizes. But for me, it was waking up and thinking, I'm not getting out of bed today. Right? Knowing full well I have a job to do, I have this to take care of, and I'm just not going to get out of bed. And figuring out a way to pull yourself out of the bed, drag yourself through the day, and having the light at the end of the tunnel be, I get to go talk to my friend Erica, right? And I'm really thankful for her and what she provided, because I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
Right. And I told her, I was like, I remember having a conversation with her, I'm never getting married again. And she had what to say about that. She actually lectured me pretty good about it. And this was before I met Raechel, and I was like, yeah, whatever, Erica, like, you can say what you want, but it's never happening. And then it was funny, because then I met Raechel at camp, and again, a week with Raechel, and then I go back home. First thing I do is I go to the gym. I'm like, I'm marrying this woman. And she just started laughing. She's like, see? I'm like, yeah. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Raechel, you said something that I'm curious about. You mentioned going through doing the work on the mental health side, and you mentioned jiu-jitsu. Was that the timing of that? Was that at the same time, or was there which did one come before the other?
It's kind of a difficult story. I kind of had a situation where I was like kind of falling out with the gym I was in, mm-hmm. and I started doing judo.
Yeah.
And I felt like, because you know how sometimes in jiu-jitsu, like the old school thought of like gym loyalty.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go to another gym because you're right. Like I felt like I couldn't do jiu-jitsu again.
Right.
Because like I felt like I couldn't.
You'd be betraying.
I'd be betraying. Like
yeah.
that feeling was inside of me. But then through the mental health, and I think that really hurt me, right? Because something you love so much, right. You feel like you can't do, right? But as time goes on, you realize like things that you're holding on to such terrible things, like, and you're carrying them around. If you just let that go, wouldn't your life be easier?
Right.
Just let it go. So when I let that go and I started training again after, the like few months, I felt better. And yeah, so it was like mental health being worked on in judo,
right, and
then jiu-jitsu and mental health, and then success, right?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting, and I'm curious what both of your thoughts are on this. I did a bunch of the work early. I did EMDR therapy, which I swear by. It is amazing for trauma, or for me anyway. And I think the consensus is EMDR is the thing for trauma currently. And I did that work, started jiu-jitsu, and was just like, that's for me. Like, I have to do this, and became obsessed with it, like you did as well. And then I was like, okay, I'm good. And then, life happens, and there are things along the way, and then you're like for me, it's like if I don't maintain that, the dark clouds start to form, and the monster starts, hey, that little negative voice. Yeah. And so it is like, I just went to a 5-day PTSD program in April, and it was weird because I had anxiety about it, because I'm sitting on this, I have this podcast where I talk about the success of all, and then I'm like, I'm going to this thing. But I was talking to some of the people there, and it's like, well, no, it's a constant work in progress. And sometimes you have to go in and tighten the screws, or, the wheel slides off. Do you guys have a similar outlook on that? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in a constant state of CBT.
Yep.
Personalized CBT. That's what I'm on.
Yep.
Right. Mental health care can be quite expensive,
yeah.
And that's why I like that I went through the school route, because a lot of the mental health care practice is they educate you on how to do it, and then you have to do the homework.
Right.
You can only get better if you're trying to. If you just go and take therapy and just let them talk to you, and then you go home and never think about it in between sessions.
Yeah, you got to do the
It's
work.
not going to work for you. You have to work on you.
Definitely.
So I think this school was adequate because every time they gave me something, some new information, I applied it to myself, and I still apply it to myself. Like, Nick, you're right. Your mental health is like a garden, right? As soon as a weed comes in, you got to pull it out. Otherwise, that thing's going to grow rampant. It's going to make new weeds. It's just going to take over. And then what do you have?
That's a good analogy.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah, that comes from what I learned. And it's true. It's very applicable. So
it was interesting. I went to, when I was at that program, there was like new tools that I picked up. Like now I haven't been doing it here, but like I do Qigong every morning. I started, like, I used to think mindfulness and all of that was just sort of like goofy, but then we did a whole bunch of it, and we learned stuff at the program, and I was like, okay, no, this is like all that breath work, and I know you're a big breath work guy. Yep. That there is something to that, and just that, the breathing and the meditation has just been like, oh, there's more tools I can put in the toolbox, and it is so important to stay on top of that stuff, because I feel it when it starts creeping back in, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure out which tool to apply to this.
Yeah.
Or I haven't been on the mats enough.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've done EMDR, I've done CBT, and to Rachel's point, there was a point where I was just like, I just need to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've talked enough.
Right.
I've learned enough about myself. I've learned what the issues are. I just need to take action. I just need to move forward. And that's what I started doing. And I've even, I hired a mushroom shaman in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I do believe there's the medicinal side of psilocybin, and I believe with MDMA and ketamine, and right, like, we're now seeing a lot of the impacts of it, and you're starting to see it legalized more around the United States. So I think that was a huge help in me healing. But then having a partner, because it is ongoing. Right. Every morning I wake up, and often I don't like the guy who wakes up. Right. And it's the doom and gloom. It's everything's going to fail. Everyone hates me. Right.
The self-compassion piece for me was, we did a bunch of that at the program too. And that was the hard part for me, is not just being self-compassionate, but self-kindness, like flipping it around. Yeah. And it's still like a daily thing where I'm like, okay, I got to change the narrative.
Yeah, you wouldn't talk to somebody else like
right,
this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are you trashing on you?
Yeah.
When I teach yoga in my yoga classes, I ask people, would you talk to your mother the way you talk to yourself?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then
stop.
You should stop.
Yeah.
Right. And it's easier said than done.
Right.
But it's the weeds in the garden. It's the storm clouds. Right. I had a friend who called it Bob the Bully.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever it is that you call it, or however you see it, right? It's constant vigilance and work in progress, and having a partner, right? And like, she looks out for me constantly. She reminds me everything's going to be okay, and
because it will be.
And
it always has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in the moment, if it doesn't feel like it, it's like it's that perspective of like, maybe if I look at this another way.
Yeah.
We're still here.
In my yoga class, I share, you've survived 100% of every bad day you've encountered.
That's powerful.
You're still here. You're still here, right? Like, I tell people, like, I might not know you, but I know you're resilient.
Yeah.
Because if you've lived a life like I've lived,
you are.
Like, you're resilient. I know, right? And I know all of us have our stories and our lives, and it's and I think jiu-jitsu ties it all together and brings us in, and like, you look at it's funny, you look at some of the people and you're like, oh, I wish I could be as confident as that guy. And you talk to them and they're like, confidence? What's that? Right. So.
Well, that's that masking piece though, because I got, for years, I was really good at, like, I was broken, and I was really good at, like, the mask of, like, I'm laughing and joking and having a great time, but behind the scenes, it was a mess. So there is something to recognizing that you have that and kind of overcoming that, and letting people actually see, letting yourself see what's going on too is a bigger piece.
That's what I love about these camps is I truly think, again, the trauma bonding, it opens the door to have those conversations, right? Because you will have those conversations with complete strangers, right? And you're like, oh, this guy's real. And one of the first things I said to her at dinner, it was so weird, right? I asked her to dinner, big cafeteria, everyone shared tables. We sat in the corner. No one sat near us. Not a soul. It was like everyone knew to leave the two of us alone.
Like, something's going on over there. We're all going to...
It was so strange,
We're sitting
right?
across from each other.
Right.
Yep.
And just the way she was talking, by this time I'd been dating a little bit, and I had seen what dating was like again.
Yep.
And she was talking, and I said to her, I was like, no one talks like this. And it was because she was just being real. Like she was sharing her shit. Like,
keep in mind, most of my social circle and most of my experience in society is jiu-jitsu people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm mostly open. That's why I say going back is a culture shock.
Right.
Because
you run into regular people who don't speak this language.
Right. Yeah.
and you could see the pain.
Yep.
And you could see the
Vulnerability.
yeah. And how people are guarded, and you're just like, man, you need jiu-jitsu. Like, that's all you can think, but it's the whole, you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
well, and until you experience it and go, the light bulb goes on, it's like, what? Like, why do I need jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
It's hard to.
You think it's just people rolling around.
Yeah.
You
Like,
just
I
see
don't
the
want to
surface.
touch people and get sweaty. It's like, but there's so much more than that.
Jiu-jitsu's not about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is an excellent segue into the school. So, Karma Jiu-Jitsu in Ajax is its first female-owned gym in the area.
No, not quite the area. There's another female gym in a couple cities over.
in Ajax.
In Ajax. Certain. Yeah.
But the fact that you can say there's one,
region.
there's one over here, it tells me that it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still a unique thing.
One of two in the greater Durham region.
There we go.
Yeah.
That I
Right?
know of.
Yeah.
And like, even in Toronto, who else? Beaches, right? Like, women-owned gyms aren't a thing,
Right.
right? That's huge. She also doesn't realize what
No.
what she does. So sometimes, like, and that's why I believe it's good to have a good partner to put things in perspective.
Right.
Like, she'll definitely downplay that it's a woman-owned gym, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, like, think about every gym that we know
Yeah.
in the area, and it's a male-run sport, and
Right.
the gyms are owned by men.
Yeah, we got together, right? Like, in that first week, when I said I wouldn't marry him quite yet, we still had the same hopes and dreams.
Right.
We still talked about, hey, both of us, our 5-year plan is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's lots of jiu-jitsu, and we would love to own a school, right? Where? I don't know yet, but we're going to have a school. Like, that's bucket list material right there. So we already kind of knew that. And as we got married, and Alan climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and like life went on, owning a school turned from like a 5-year plan into, hey, why are we not just doing this yet?
Yeah.
Like we're both experienced. I started teaching kids class within a couple months of starting jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just...
You knew more than they did.
Well,
Barely.
yeah, I loved it, and I just wanted them to love it, and I went from there, right?
Yeah.
So I took that opportunity. Alan, I knew I flew off to Colorado before I married him, and I saw where he's from and what he was doing and the school he was at, and I was like, I love this. I love the school he was at, and I watched how he managed a classroom, and I was like, that is good too, and the way he interacted with his students, and I was like, this, right? Like, wow, he's good. right? Like I thought I was good.
Right.
I think he's a little better, right? So I'm like, yes. Another reason why I was like, yeah, you know what, Arizona, you know, I see your potential. But yeah, we just a lot of luck again. Just things just fall right as they should. You know, I feel like the universe is good to us and wants us to get what we want. And when you're open to it and you know, you're open to letting your desires be fulfilled. I don't know whether it's God, whether it's Jesus, Muhammad, whoever, right? I almost think it's just a universe thing. So yeah, I basically manifested Alan. The universe aligns with you. It's not against you. It's definitely for you. You just have to be receptive to it. And Alan, you know, I joked about different names for Karma Jiu Jitsu, but then when Alan said Karma Jiu Jitsu should be the name, and I really couldn't think of anything better.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's usually a good sign that you're.
Yeah.
You know, Alan, I think so much of Alan, and he just gets things done.
Yep.
He really does, and I know that if I aid and abet him, he'll get so much more done.
Yep.
So what I like to do is either help him get things done or stay out of his way, and I think that's kind of important.
Yeah.
So when he said Karma Jiu Jitsu, and I racked my brain for like, I don't know, days to a couple weeks, I was just like, yeah, okay, Karma Jiu Jitsu, yeah. And then, yeah, he had Damien make our logo, and I was like, I can't come up with anything better, you know. And it turns out now I really love Karma Jiu Jitsu, and I love it so much more, and I love our logo, and I love all that goes with it. And again, Universal Lining, our friend came over and said, hey, like, I got some mats off of Kijiji for really cheap. I'll give you the link. And he was thinking that we would get like 2 or 3 mats, but the guy had 42 mats. So we bought the mats and put them in our garage, and we're like, we got the mats. He's like, how many did you get? We're like, 42. So now all we really needed was the space, and, you know, we just worked towards it. And that's just what you need to do is, okay, what needs to be done? The next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And we just kept doing the next thing and not stopping.
Right.
You know.
I say the universe is conspiring to give me everything I ever want. And you still have to take action, though.
I was going to say,
Yes.
it may be conspiring, but you're also a co-conspirator.
Yeah, 100%. And so, right, like, our friends, like, hey, I've got these 2 mats. I'm like, oh, like, does he have more? He sends us a link. We go, he's like, you bought 42 mats? He's like, what, are you lighting your entire house?
Right.
And we're like, and he's a realtor. He's actually one of our coaches at Karma Jiu Jitsu. He's here with us at this camp. And his name's Mike Lind. He's awesome. And we're like, actually, we're probably going to open a gym. And he starts sending us links.
And it's funny because I
So
thought he
realistic.
knew. Because, like, we were having this conversation daily.
Right.
So I was like, how does he know? Right? And then it turns out that he wanted to just give us 2. And I'm like, that's crazy. I thought he knew this whole time.
That's wild.
Yeah, we got...
And so he starts sending us links to real estate leases. And we're like, yeah, like, now he's our realtor. Like, he just became our realtor.
Right.
And, like, now we're looking at spaces. And we're like, holy shit. Like, we're looking at spaces where we're doing all this work. And yeah, you know, I'd like to go back to just talk about why and how. And Raechel was talking about how she was in a gym where she didn't feel like she could leave.
Right.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's terrible. Recently, we had a guy, one of our members, he sent me a message. He's like, oh, I want to cancel. I'm going to go look at other gyms. And I was like, hell yeah. Let us know what you find. Right?
But realize if you ever need us, come back.
Yeah. And I think that was his response. Because, like, 2 days later, he sends, don't cancel my membership. I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. like we're good either way.
Right.
And like if you want a list of all the gyms, because like jiu-jitsu is small,
Right.
right? Like it's big, but it's small. And if you want a list of all the gyms that are in the area, I'll give you a list. I'll introduce you to people there.
Right.
You want to go train with them? Please do.
Yeah, that is definitely I think that's becoming more and more common, but that is definitely not every gym's feeling on it.
Yeah.
Even where I am, there's, like a handful of gyms in the Burlington area, and that I can think of, at least one where you don't go anywhere else. You don't even do a drop-in.
Right. Yeah, that's awful.
So,
Like you're a grown man or woman
right.
paying.
Right. You're a customer.
You can do whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like I never understood that. And like I came from an instructor who was a Globetrotter.
Right.
Right? I only knew, right? I came from an instructor who was heel hooks in the gi. Right? Like, so I'm like, what's this IBJJF nonsense? Like,
Right.
what's this other, like, I can't do what I want? I'm a white belt. Yeah, I'm going to heel hook you.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't care. So seeing the other side of it, and then, right, like when we wanted to create, we didn't want to create a gym for jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is easy to teach.
Right.
Right? Anyone can teach jiu-jitsu. People are like, well, no, you can't. No, bullshit. Because I've seen some pretty shitty instructors. So
Right.
anyone can teach jiu-jitsu. Right? Anyone can open a door, unlock it, put mats on the floor, and be like, hey, I have a jiu-jitsu gym. Right? That's the easy part. That's table stakes to owning a jiu-jitsu gym.
Right.
What are you doing for the people of your gym?
Right.
Right? How are you making them feel special? How are you getting people on the mats? How are you making them feel? Right? It doesn't matter what you do for them. How do you make them feel at the end of the day? Right? When they leave your gym, are they happy that they were there? Are they not happy? Are they happy their kids there? Right? Are they happy to bring friends and family in? Right? Like we have so many parents who don't do jiu-jitsu that come into and spend hours in our we call it our living room, in our front room. And our design was these parents are spending hours in that front room.
Their life.
Yeah.
That's your life. This
Right.
is our life. Where do you want to spend your life?
Right.
Like this needs to be a space where they want to be,
Yeah.
right? And so we put couches, not just shitty folding chairs, right? Like we put couches, right? We put toys for the toddlers for reading, ability to do work and schoolwork and Wi-Fi and right. Like it is all about, the mat space is important, but so is the space where people hang out
Right.
Live.
and live, right?
Yeah, so the culture, I mean, for you guys, the culture piece, like the philosophy is that this isn't just teaching, and I think this is what you're getting at with jiu-jitsu is not just about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's a whole, it's like wrap around, like this is more than techniques, this is more than learning, and this is more than whatever. It's a community and it's a culture that you're building and kind of applying that to everything that happens at the place.
Yeah, we're building the future leaders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leaders of the world, right? Like they're in our gym, right? They're learning how to shake hands, learning how to speak to each other, they're learning how to call each other by names and set boundaries and
Be good sports.
and be good humans
And
and
help each other grow.
Yeah.
it's right like and then right, like Raechel always says, this is the time of their lives.
Right.
Right? When you look back to like being a kid, like and you remember the summer camp or this or that, right? Like this is the time of their lives, them running and playing on the mats.
This is a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And so, right, jiu-jitsu is not about jiu-jitsu,
Right.
right? There's so much more to it. And what are you giving back? What are you putting into it?
Yeah. Love that. What, so one of the thing I ask everybody who comes on is, the show's called Twisted Remedies. It's a play on words because twisted jiu-jitsu, you're folding people up. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's been a remedy. So I always ask people what their twisted remedies are. Like obviously for you guys, jiu-jitsu is on the list, if not at the top of the list. Mm-hmm. I know obviously you mentioned yoga. Like what are your twisted remedies that you turn to when you're to keep yourself grounded, to heal, to all of those things?
For me, jiu-jitsu is huge.
Yeah.
Right? I train 7 days a week. at least 2 times a day, and so I train a lot. But I also use anything where I get to suffer, right? I often ask myself, right, like, have you met yourself today? Right, like, you could say who you are, but is that who you really are when things get hard?
Right.
Right, and so, like, I climbed Kilimanjaro, and right, like, I've done a lot of things in my life. I've done lots of hunting, and I put myself in situations where I'm not comfortable. Right, and I always try to say yes to things that, like, maybe I wouldn't do or wouldn't want to do or is out of my comfort zone. Because when you suffer, and then if you can realize that everyone else is suffering too, right? I think it eases the suffering. And I none of these are my original thoughts. The Book of Joy, it's an interview between the Archbishop Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. It's a great book. And in the Book of Joy, they talk a lot about suffering, which is, right, like, seems like a dichotomy. But when you realize that everyone else is suffering too, you can help ease the suffering, right? You can start to focus more on other people than, if I feel this way, then they have to feel some sort of way too.
Right. It's a common human experience.
Yeah. And let me help bring them joy.
Yeah.
And just, again, bringing everyone up. And if we can bring each other up, then, yeah. And so putting myself in those situations, lifting weights. I also really, like, I was in corporate America before this, in banking and sales and marketing. And so I have a lot of business experience. And both of us have realized rather recently how much I love running a business.
Yeah.
For ourselves, building an empire.
Yeah.
I love it. Like,
it was so funny the other day. We went to a public school and did a fun fair, and I showed the kids jiu-jitsu, like, for 5-10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I'd give them candy or a prize, like, welcome, now you know what jiu-jitsu is. And then I would ask the parents if they wanted to give me their contact information, and I got 22 parents signed up.
Wow.
And gave me their information, and the look on Alan's face when I gave them all the leads, and he said they're 22. It was like there's candy. Like,
Yeah.
like that was the prize.
This is
right?
22 people I can connect with.
Yes.
And,
And teach them jujitsu. So that really is his thing. So now I know if I want to get him in a good mood, just here's some leads, Alan.
I can
Start
say
feeding
that
the machine.
this, I'm several episodes in, and no one yet has talked about running a business as their twisted revenue.
Yeah.
So that's a first.
Oh yeah.
And that suffering piece, that's an interesting way to look at that. Like, I've had people say, "Oh, I like to lift weights, or I like to run and do hard things," but no one has ever really kind of equated it with that. That's
I think I can
overcoming something hard and that suffering piece. I like that. That's interesting.
I think I can add to that a little bit. I truly believe in what we're building.
Yeah.
And I'm building it not for $1 million, not for my name to be in bright lights.
Right.
Right. I'm building it for a community. I'm building it to do better, to be better, to do good. Right? What is it? Be good. Right. Like, so, like, every day since I've been here, I've been working. Right. And I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I just get joy out of it. And yesterday, so we've been talking, right? We've opened our gym. It's been 8 months. We're hugely successful, and we're continuing on. It's funny because, like, now we start to see people in the community are realizing we're going to be around forever.
Yeah.
And the attitudes have changed a bit. And we've done custom gis, custom rash guards, all that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about, right, like, when we had to do our own wedding gis, this was 2023. We're like, why? We can just make gis for people. And, like, we sort of never did anything. We opened up Karma. And then we've been talking more and more now that we have our own gis in production. We're like, why don't we just make gis for everyone else? And so yesterday I incorporated Karma kimonos Yep. So we are now officially have our second business as part of the Karma conglomerate, which is right, like Karma kimonos, right? Like you want gis, rash guards, fully customizable. We want it easy. We want it enjoyable, and as cheap as we can. Right, having a good product is costly.
Yep.
But we want it so that people want to represent not just Karma but themselves.
Right.
And so, so like I was working feverishly probably for like 2 hours yesterday, right? Like on the steps of our cabin, right? Like I hear the buzzing around us.
Right.
Everyone just like
But
doing
you're
their
locked
thing.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like I'm just like zoop, right? Like just
It's
doing
his
it.
favorite video game, real life.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right? Like, what do you work for? Right?
Right.
And then like we're all eating together as a cabin. We grilled and then being able to announce that and then being like, yep, we're here. Karma kimonos is a thing. And then people are like, how do I get one? Right? Like, yeah, right? Like, yep, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, the timing of that is great because I will soon be looking for Twisted Remedies rash guards and stuff.
Welcome aboard.
Well, yep.
We'll have a chat
Yeah,
after
for
this
sure.
is all done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes back to, I'm not building it for $1 million. I'm not building it.
Right.
I'm not building it to, I want an empire, but I also want to show people, right? Because I think in jiu-jitsu, a lot of people get caught up in competing.
Right.
And it's unlikely that you're going to become a world-class competitor. That's just like any other sport, right? Like it's unlikely you're going to get in the NFL or the NHL or the NBA. It can happen, but it's unlikely. And the chance of making money is even less likely,
Right.
right, as a competitor. At least a living wage, right? And so I think that there's plenty of money and opportunity to provide for a family and in the business side of it. And we want to show people that like you and your family can run a gym, and we want to give people the opportunities.
There's a future.
Definitely.
You can have a future doing this, following your dreams and doing what you're passionate about. You know, there's enough pie for all.
Yep.
We'll just keep having more pies.
Right.
Right? Like, we don't have to cut up the same pie, just make more pies.
That's it.
And so, what is for you? Jiu-jitsu is obviously on the list. What other things are your Twisted Remedies that you rely on?
I like to joke and say that I'm like overeducated. I like going to school. I like being presented with new ideas and having too much classwork and filling my days with just kind of learning about things and jiu-jitsu. And my kids, again, I've just hung out with my kids and done whatever I could to just have a good relationship with them and put a lot of time into it. But as they get older, I know I should probably take a little bit of a step back because they're teenagers now, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to take more of a step back and let them kind of go their own way a little bit more. We'll still being there and supportive and hearing about their lives, but I'm in teachers college right now. I'm gonna be a teacher. I plan to probably just be mostly a supply teacher while I do business, but it's gonna be great. I think I'm gonna impact some lives there.
So neither one of you are just going to rest on your laurels by the sounds of it.
No,
There's no.
Honestly, I've always done things. I've always got up and moved.
Yeah.
Even when it would be so easy to just not do anything, I still move. So.
And even with the gym being as successful as it is currently, we're actually in the process of expanding already. So
That doesn't surprise me from
Yeah.
what I know about you prior to this conversation and what I've learned. That doesn't surprise me one bit that this is going to continue to grow.
Not only that, but I envision us helping other people grow, because getting started is the hard part.
Right.
I know a lot of guys who will go every day to class and just be there and grind and grind and grind, but to start it,
Right.
that's the hard part. And I see our future as helping people start.
That's awesome. Catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just start it, put things in place, and then they can modify it as they see fit.
It's not going to start itself. So they're like that whole co-conspirator piece, right? Like the universe may be aligned, but if you don't
Push it.
And that's the thing, is everything that we did up to where we are today, everything was in the line, but we had to walk it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we had to keep going
have to be willing to
find
keep
the
going.
next thing.
Yeah.
Right. And whether you see it or not, like we kept going. Right. Like when our friend, he's like, 42 mats, what the hell are you going to do with them? I'm like, they're stacked in our garage. And he started sending us locations. Then we found out a gym, a local gym in the area closed down.
Oh.
We're like, that's weird.
Like last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, wait, like he had a big footprint.
Right.
That opens up this huge opportunity for us. Right. So like we capitalized on that. We're literally across the street from where he was.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, again, everything just it's there. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you. Right. And it's just, you have to take action.
Right.
Right. And I do a lot of, outside of this, I also do coaching and personal and business coaching. And that is my main thing, is just take action. And a lot of the issues that people have is they get caught up in themselves and they're like, well, I don't know what the right action is. Like, I never said right action.
Right. Just do something.
Just do something. Go fall flat on your face.
Right.
Right. Learn that that's not the thing to do. Right. Now you know that's not the thing. Let me do something different. And so that's it. Like so many of our ideas, it's wild. Like
It evolves.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like this, and then
You just have to be willing to put yourself out there a little bit and try things.
act like or look like a fool. Right? Like I have no problem looking like a fool, as you saw from Forrest Fisticuffs.
I can't unsee it.
Yeah, no
Exactly.
problem. Exactly. Yeah.
Mental real estate.
Right. Right.
But like you have to put yourself out there and just be willing to try and just keep trying.
So what is, if people hearing this, watching this, because this will be on the video side as well eventually, how do people reach you? What else do people need to know? What do you have? Is there anything big coming up? This won't air for a little bit because I've got a few in the hopper, but just generally, what should people know about you guys individually or Karma that they can connect?
The one thing I'll say, first off, I want to address my shirt. Who the fuck is Alan Titone? The shirt is really important, and I want you to know, whoever's listening to this, it's a play on who am I? I'm no one, right? Like if I can do it, you sure as hell can do it, right? You just got to put yourself out there. So there's that. But as for reaching us or reaching out to us, we're on Instagram at Karma Jiu Jitsu, at Karma_kimonos. We have our website, karmajujitsu.com. You can reach us. I'm on Instagram, Alan Titone, at the life of Alan Titone, underscores between each word. Those are the best ways. We can give you our phone number too, email, karmajujitsu@gmail.com. We try to make everything easy and as concise. And please reach out to us. Ask us questions.
Yeah.
We do provide seminars for teaching kids programs, starting a kids program.
You guys did one here yesterday.
Yes.
And you're doing one later on...
how to accomplish anything.
Right. Which is, again, not surprising to hear that that's the title of the seminar.
And that started as like a goal-setting workshop back in Arizona of 2021. It was a goal-setting workshop. And finally, I just named it How to Accomplish Anything, because that's what I realized I can do. Right? Like, I'm like, wait, I opened a gym, I'm doing all this stuff. Like, I can literally do anything.
You can do anything.
And so can you.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah.
Come find us at a Globetrotters camp. I'm sure we'll be there.
You guys seem to be a mainstay of of these, and I think that's super cool, and I think that adds to the vibe and the whole, like, the magic that you talked about earlier. I think that's a piece of it. Is, you know, everybody carries a piece of it, but I think you guys have your puzzle piece connected is like a good chunk of that. So
Also, if you're in Ajax, Ontario, come visit Karma
Yeah.
Jiu Jitsu. Like,
Yeah.
we want you to visit. We have couches in our gym that you can sleep on. You can sleep on the mats.
Yeah.
We are open to anyone
Yeah.
who wants to come train, come visit. You want to come teach, you have something that you're really good at teaching, like, come guest teach for a night, right? Like, share your jiu-jitsu with us. We break our jiu-jitsu and share your jiu-jitsu with us.
that's awesome.
Make everyone better.
That's what I was going to say. Open mats Saturdays, 10:30 in the morning, 7:30 at night. Come play.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been great. It's cool to do this here
It really is.
in Oakland, in Maine, in the
Yeah.
woods on a lake. Again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks so much.
Bye for now.
That was fun.
Yeah.